Whether you have a dedicated home theater room, media room, or living room, our home theater experts here at Audio Advice always design systems to try to emulate that movie theater feel. That's why when we heard about Sony's new slogan for their 2024 TVs, "Cinema is coming home," it really resonated with us and we were excited to learn all about the new models. So let's dive into the brand new 2024 Sony TV lineup and help you decide which one might be best for you. For this video, we're going to focus on Sony's brightest mini LED TV ever, the new Bravia 9 mini LED TV, along with the Bravia 8 OLED TV and the Bravia 7 mini LED TV. We will also note that Sony has released a more affordable option, the Bravia 3 LED TV, which doesn't have all the upgraded features that the rest of the lineup has, but is still very capable. If you are interested in the more affordable Bravia 3, I'll leave a link below where you can learn more about it, as I'm going to bypass those units for this video and get into the new exciting tech shared by the 7, 8, and 9 models, and then discuss each series to help you make an informed buying decision on which one might be best for your situation. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to briefly go over all of the incredible technologies that Sony has developed for their TVs. But if you want a more in-depth look, I suggest you head over to our detailed article at audioadvice.com, which I'll link below. And if you're just here to find out about what's new with these TVs and learn about each model, feel free to jump ahead to about here in the video, where we start with the Bravia 9. So Sony TVs have always been a favorite here at Audio Advice for so many reasons. Their unwavering commitment to living on the bleeding edge of all things video allows them to continue developing TVs with incredible processing power, which results in excellent picture quality that is true to the original creator's intent. In fact, Sony is one of the only companies that we know of that produces the equipment used in every chain of content creation. From the high-end cinema cameras on which your favorite movies are shot on, to the professional monitors and post-processing facilities used to edit the movies, to commercial movie theater projectors, Sony has its hands in the entire process from start to finish. Their vast array of knowledge in the content industry gives their engineers a leg up in designing TVs that help us get closer to that theater experience that we all are aiming for. Now, the first big change to the new Sony TVs that we are very happy to see is the way that they've named them. In hopes of streamlining the model names, they've gone with a much easier naming structure and simply named the new models the Bravia 3, Bravia 7, Bravia 8, and Bravia 9. Now, 3 models will be carried over from last year. If you want to learn more about those carryover models, which are the A90K OLED, X90L Full Array LED, and the A95L QD OLED, I'll leave links in the description where you can check out our reviews on those models. The brains behind the incredible image of a Sony TV is the Bravia Cognitive Processor XR. The XR processor looks at every frame of the image and breaks it down into thousands of elements, which it processes simultaneously. Sony set out to make their processor look at the image much like the human brain would process real life. Everywhere you look, there are certain parts in your field of vision that you focus on more. Well, the XR processor uses AI to make that picture look more like what you would see in real life. The video technology used in the new Sony TVs involves many separate processes all at once. Now, separate processing is performed for each of the critical components of the image: color, contrast, motion, and clarity. To produce a lifelike image, all of these aspects need to be perfectly executed. The XR processor acts as the director to decide how much of each component to apply to each of the thousands of elements inside every single frame of the image. Now, another technology that Sony engineers have developed is their XR Backlight master drive. Now, before I explain how it actually works, it's important to understand what a mini LED is and why this technology found in the Bravia 9 and Bravia 7 is so powerful. Mini LED TVs use an array of LEDs grouped into controlled zones to produce the light for your TV. But unlike a standard LED TV, mini LEDs are 5 times smaller, allowing you to have more LEDs on the panel, resulting in better contrast, higher peak brightness, and more dimming control in the dark parts of an image with less blooming. Now, Sony's new XR Backlight Master Drive analyzes every frame of the content and uses a Sony-developed local dimming algorithm to control thousands of tiny, ultra-dense mini LEDs with precision and independence. This delivers a beautiful, bright image with a wide dynamic range and virtually eliminates haloing or blooming around intensely bright objects on your screen. Now, this also lets you get those deep, inky blacks on a large 75-inch or 85-inch screen, which is really impressive. In addition, the Bravia 7 and 9 both feature Sony's XR motion clarity technology, which synchronizes the backlight with the movement on the screen. Plus, all models feature the XR clear image tech to intelligently convert your content to near 4K and minimize noise. You will also get XR Triluminos Pro technology, which is a process that maps colors from a wider palette to reproduce finer gradients of shades and hues. The latest Triluminos Pro takes this color palette and widens the color space even more through 3D color algorithm processing. The Bravia 9 is the only model on this list that also features the X anti-reflection and X wide angle tech to minimize glares and keep the image consistent no matter where you're sitting in your room. While we highly recommend upgrading your TV sound to a full surround sound system or a soundbar, Sony has also made some great improvements to the sound quality of its TVs. They've included Voice Zoom 3 for clearer dialogue, 3D surround upscaling, and Dolby Atmos and DTS:X support. You can also utilize 360-degree spatial sound mapping and acoustic center sync to create an even more immersive experience. They've also introduced 2 new soundbars and a surround sound theater system, which we will have reviews on, that you should check out as well. Again, to learn more about all of the sound upgrades and the details, check out our article that I'll link in the description below. In addition, the 7, 8, and 9 models feature a multi-purpose stand that allows you to adjust the height in 4 different positions. You can adjust the height to have your TV flush with your credenza, or raise it to the perfect height for a Sony soundbar to fit perfectly below it without covering any part of your screen. You can also mount the stands on the outside edge of your TV or towards the center of the TV. When it comes to the operating system on the Sony TVs, they are all equipped with the Google TV as their smart TV platform. Utilizing Google TV platform on Sony TVs include a few great features. You get access to Sony Pictures Core, formerly known as Bravia Core. This platform was jointly developed with Sony TV engineers and Sony Pictures specialists to bring studio quality picture mastering directly to your TV. Typical streaming services allow you to stream content around 15 to 25 megabits per second, whereas Sony's Pure Stream works in conjunction with Sony Pictures Core to allow you to stream content up to 80 megabits per second. This gives you more detail in your image and improves audio quality too, making it very close to what you would get from a Blu-ray disc. Now, when you watch Netflix natively on these new Sony TVs, you will have access to a feature called Netflix Adaptive Calibrated Mode and a new Amazon Prime Calibrated Mode. We were extremely impressed when Sony first introduced this mode back in 2018 for Netflix, and now for the 2024 models, it's gotten even better. This mode automatically adjusts the brightness of your TV to match the ambient room conditions, and it configures the TV image to be calibrated as close as possible to the monitors that are used in post-production movie studios. Plus, you can still use the Sony Bravia Cam and Sony Bravia Connect app for even more great features that we discuss in our full article that is linked below. When it comes to gaming on a TV, Sony has always been a favorite pick of ours. The Bravia 7, 8, and 9 have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports that support up to 48 gigabits per second peak bitrate and 120 frames per second on 4K content. When you use this along with the auto low latency mode and variable refresh rate, you will have a pretty solid gaming setup for casual or even somewhat competitive gaming. No, it won't be as good as a professional gaming monitor, but for a TV, it's pretty awesome. If you own a PS5, you will also be able to use the Auto HDR tone mapping and Dolby Vision Plus. And their game menu gives you quick access to so many other great gaming features, which we outline in our audioadvice.com article, but suffice it to say that this TV is outstanding for a gamer. All right, let's take a look at the new flagship Bravia 9 and work our way down the lineup. The Bravia 9 is the brightest 4K mini LED TV that Sony has ever made. Sony actually re-engineered their mini LED driver to be able to have less resistance when it comes to power delivery, allowing them to control the responsiveness in both terms of dimming and boosting each individual LED. This results in around 50% more brightness, 325% more dimming zones, and 20% less power consumption compared to the 2023 mini LED Sony X95L. With conventional LEDs, manufacturers have had some challenges to work around, but not every brand has done nearly as well as Sony has. One of the most common challenges is blooming, also known as the halo effect. Blooming happens when the light from brightly lit objects on a screen bleeds into the darker surrounding areas, creating a halo effect around that image, hence the name. You may notice this on a bright street light, stars dotting the night sky, or a bright sunset, or even some subtitles. Now, by adding more dimming zones to the Bravia 9 and pairing it with the XR Backlight Master Drive tech, the Bravia 9 can control dimming zones directly next to each other with extreme precision. Where most LED TVs essentially have an off, on, and a few brightness levels in between, the Bravia 9 is able to adjust down to a more granular level. This isn't an easy task for any TV to do. However, as we've mentioned so many times before, Sony's engineers have created the best processor for these TVs, and the Bravia 9 can adjust its backlight with extreme precision and speed, resulting in minimal blooming and incredible contrast in your image. While Sony has achieved incredible contrast ratios with conventional full array local LED dimming, the mini LED technology takes everything Sony knows about high performance image processing and squeezes every last drop of performance from the panel tech to give you the best of both worlds, so you get those inky black levels like an OLED and the brightest colors possible like a traditional LED panel. This Bravia 9 also includes frame and beam tweeters in addition to the front-facing TV speakers inside. The beam tweeters are located on the top rear of the TV and reflect the audio backward off the wall and the ceiling to create a height sound effect, while the frame tweeters vibrate the frame to add more width to the overall presentation of sound. And to top it all off, the Bravia 9 includes Sony's high peak luminance, XR Contrast Booster 30, and newly added source-based tone mapping for gaming. It's clear that Sony has leaned into this mini LED technology, and we think it was the right move. The Bravia 9 will be an outstanding choice for someone who wants a bright, detailed image with a ton of contrast. When you pair it up with all the other tech that they've packed inside, you cannot go wrong with Sony's new flagship, the Bravia 9. Moving to the Bravia 8 OLED TV, this is the replacement for the A80L OLED from 2023. Now, instead of a hardware update like the Bravia 9 has over the X95L, the Bravia 8 has a refined processing algorithm that gives it increased brightness over the A80L. The Bravia 8 models come in 55 inches, 65 inches, and 75 inches. Now, if you're looking for an 83 inch, you can still get the previous A80L model in that size, which is still available. Now, typically OLED TVs have been recommended for rooms where you have total light control and can make the room very dark to have the best experience due to their lack of brightness. In 2023, Sony developed new tech that paired the high luminance OLED panel and temperature sensor with Sony's special XR Contrast Booster technology to really boost the color and contrast even in rooms with a lot of ambient light, so you get those really deep inky blacks with the brightness of an LED panel. Now, this has changed the way we sort of think about the best environment for an OLED TV. With the Bravia 8, if you have a room with decent light control, you will still get those deep blacks and a picture that video enthusiasts will truly appreciate. Sony's engineers have continued to innovate and pair the best algorithms and technology with these OLED panels to give this TV an incredibly bright and beautiful OLED image. The Bravia 8 also supports HDR10, which is essential for streaming 4K and 4K Blu-ray content. This ensures that you get the brightest colors that look like they really pop off the screen. Brightness and color levels also adjust scene by scene in response to the video signal with Dolby Vision. In addition to more brightness, they've also improved the TV's aesthetic. The entire case is around 31% thinner, and the bezel around the image is up to 29% slimmer. Overall, it's an extremely thin and beautiful TV to have on display in any room. Another notable difference between the Bravia 9 and the Bravia 8 OLED TV is the latter features acoustic surface technology where the sound itself comes from behind the panel instead of the new beam tweeters featured in the Bravia 7 and 9 models. Now, while this display won't be as bright as the Bravia 9, you will get a TV with 8 million self-lit pixels with amazing brightness and contrast along with extremely deep blacks since this is an OLED panel. If you're a video enthusiast who wants those pure inky blacks and you have decent light control in your room, the Bravia 8 might just be the very best option for you. Moving to the Bravia 7, this one is essentially the little brother to the Bravia 9. It shares many of the same features, such as the powerful XR processor, which features Sony's XR Clear Image, XR Motion Clarity, and XR Backlight Master Drive technology. However, the LED driver structure is not the same updated version as the Bravia 9. This means you will not have the advantage of those newly engineered LED drivers that create more backlight dimming zones, more brightness, and less power consumption. But it does make the Bravia 7 a much more affordable option. Even without all that tech, the Bravia 7 is a very capable mini LED TV and a huge step up from the previous X90L model. It jumps up from XR Contrast Booster 10 to XR Contrast Booster 20 and is a mini LED panel instead of a full array LED panel. It is also Sony's first 55-inch mini LED TV. Now, we think the Bravia 7 is perfect for someone who wants a large, bright screen at an affordable price. A 65-inch Bravia 8 is actually the same price as the 75-inch Bravia 7. Yes, you will lose a little bit of low-end contrast, but it is a great way to get into a large TV with very minimal performance loss. All right, so I hope this overview has given you a better idea of what all of these new Sony Bravia TVs have to offer. At Audio Advice, we've been fans of Sony for decades. They have by far and away the best customer support in the industry. There's just no comparison to other big brands when it comes to their customer service. Now, you really can't go wrong with any of these new models from Sony, as they all have incredible picture for their price. However, if you do need help selecting the best model for you, please reach out to our team of experts for further guidance to ensure you make the right choice. And if you want to learn more about these Sony TVs, again, we have our full in-depth article where we go into all the technologies and differences in every model at audioadvice.com, linked below in the description. Now, if you do have further questions that I didn't answer here, feel free to pop down into the comments. We'll do our best to reply there, or just please contact our experts via chat, phone, or email, or you can also simply visit one of our world-class rooms to experience turntables, speakers, projectors, TVs, and everything in between for yourself before you make a purchase. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, we'd greatly appreciate it if you show us some support by giving it a like, hitting the subscribe button, and turning on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.